back to another episode of Camp Confidence.
Conversations about confidence, self improvement, and success between two Filipino entrepreneurs on two different journeys.
I am Ayn Bernos, the founder of Morena the Label and Ideology Studio.
And I am Rizza LANA-SEBASTIAN, the founder and CEO of LANA-PH and mink.ph.
For today's episode, we are talking about how to launch a business part 2.
Yay! Ang saya na ang daming questions ulit for this particular topic. And
Yeah,
super duper exciting din yung mga questions for today.
that's why we have part 2.
Yeah.
But before we start that discussion, let's start off with our wins of the week since 2 weeks kaming hindi nag-record at
Oo
medyo
nga.
ang daming updates. So
Ang
how are
dami
you doing?
ganap, and I super missed you, Madam
Me
Ayun.
too! Oh my gosh.
Oo, ayun, ako ang little win ko for this week is I did a commencement speech through Zoom.
I
Oo,
saw.
sa senior high school students to, and it was really fun. Although I missed speaking in front of real people though. Alam
Mhm.
mo yun, parang I missed the nods, yung parang, yes, oo, tama. And the smiles from the audience. Pero super duper fun naman siya. I parang nag-throwback ako sa aking 18-year-old self. And ayun.
Is that your, alma mater?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Ang saya.
Commencement
Diba?
speech.
Who would ever thought na ang nagmi-miss ng payments ng tuition fees before
Grabe, ang
would do a
galing.
commencement speech. So,
A
everything
success
is
story.
possible.
Ang galing.
Saya.
Dream ko din mag-commencement speech sa mga...
Very
Anong
soon.
feeling?
Ano ba? Yun nga, aside from super duper throwback from all of my feelings back when I was 18, ang saya lang na I can, parang, even if I am a normal person, parang, ang saya na I could impart wisdom from all of the things I learned along the way, na parang if I was invited siguro mga when I was 20, parang wala pa ako masyadong masishare eh. Pero ngayon na marami na akong napagdaanan, maraming failures, maraming pagkadapa at pagbangon muli. Ang saya na yun pala yung mga lessons na masishare ko
Mhm.
with the youth nowadays. So, failure is key.
I feel like failure talaga. They make a good story. If you don't
Oo.
fail, it's not gonna be aspirational or
Exactly.
inspirational.
Exactly. Tsaka boring ikwento yung parang super duper straight line.
Pataas lang ng pataas. It's
Yeah.
so not relatable.
True. Ayan. So how about you, Madam? What are your wins?
So, ang pinagkakaabalahan ko besides work is I've been working out a lot.
I saw
So,
your progress. Love it.
thank you. You can check out my Instagram.
Mhm.
My progress is there. So, this is my 6th week of
Wow.
my workout routine. I don't know. Tapos,
Mhm.
so patapos na ako kasi I'm making a video about it. Tapos wala lang, natuwa lang ako na natapos ko siya up to 6 weeks. Because I
Love
would
it.
always, ginagawa ko to for the past so many years. As in, magte-take ako ng before video. Never ako nakarating sa after. As in, I never finished it. As in, like, kahit 3 weeks workout, 1 week workout, never ako nakatapos. So, the fact na umabot ako ng 6 weeks is such a win for me because I feel like, maybe I'm a better version of myself now in 2020 na kinaya kong mag-commit. Wow!
Mhm. Ang saya, nun, inspiring din. Kasi parang consistency sometimes with health and, fitness is so hard. So this is really commendable as well. Tsaka yung disiplina na kahit tamad na tamad ka na, okay, I'll still
Yeah.
do it. So,
Thank you.
congrats.
Alam mo, I think yung consistency, when we started recording this podcast, we were consistent every week, ganyan. And then, I started building a routine for my work schedule. And then, because everything was routinary and I knew what I needed to happen and I knew what my day would look like. It was easier for me to carve out time for
Right.
fitness. Tapos yun nga, tapos yung sinabi niya na parang, if I'm the founder, if I'm the head of this business, it's my responsibility to be healthy. Doon ako
Right.
parang medyo, okay, fine, sige na nga. Nag-workout kaya ako after that podcast
I love
session.
it.
Parang, okay, fine, it's my responsibility to be
Mhm.
healthy. So, ayun.
Yes, totoo.
Nakakatuwa.
Kasi it's not just about you anymore na lang, na parang you can't be selfish na, okay,
Mhm.
ayoko na, I'll just slack off and stuff. Gina pa.
Shall we go to our questions?
Yes, so
Questions.
that being said, let's dive right into this week's topic na how to launch a business part 2.
Yay!
Let's go to this week's community questions for Sam from Sam Gucci. How to stay consistent and have sales even after a while.
Hi. Eto, so, di ba when you launch,
Mm.
the situation is, you launch, there's a big audience na super excited to get your product, and then after that weekend, overwhelmed to orders.
Mhm.
And then after that week, all of a sudden it's gonna die down.
Mhm.
And if it's your first time to launch, it's a little disheartening to see na
Yeah.
parang, oh my gosh, ngayong wala nang pasabog, ito na yung consistent numbers natin.
Yeah.
And yun actually na-experience ko with ideology. So it's just been a month. Pero sobrang big talaga nung first week, and then after, parang nagdudwindle down siya. Tapos parang ako, I was so worried na, oh my gosh, are we gonna have enough orders to keep this going? And then I realized that the launch really isn't where it ends.
That's
Gets ko
very
na
true.
yung ginagawa mo na constantly you have photo shoots, constantly you have marketing stuff to do, constantly innovating ways to reach more people. So, ayun, what do you do with Lana as
Ako,
for marketing stuff?
yeah, ako naman, what I can say about this question is you have to set your expectations na you cannot have consistent sales, but you have to be able to foresee a dip and get ready for it. So, for example, sa business world kasi, sabi nila, August is a ghost month. Meaning, mas konti talaga yung sales every August for some reason. So, as a business owner, you have to be creative on how you can ano ba, how you can be consistent with your sales. So, kung alam mo na ngang magde-dip this August, so you have to create promos to negate that. And it's also very important that you have sales goals in mind. And you have to constantly monitor it. Na parang kapag may dip, do something about it. Say, mga sale, promo, or up your social media game. You always have to be online and visible. Kasi kami, for Lana and Mink, we have daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual sales goals. Kasi syempre, kapag wala kaming goals, wala kaming, kumbaga, of course, you have to compute kung ano yung mga expenses mo. And of course, kailangan mo pa rin mag-profit. So, you have to have a, hindi quota, goal in mind.
Yeah.
Para lang you can stay afloat, you can still pay your employees, you can still have your own yung inventory mo. And it's also best, kunwari mag-isa ka pa lang, set that for yourself. And if you have a team, you have to make sure na you communicate your goals with them para at least alam nila kung saang direction sila pupunta. Tapos kumbaga parang they will also feel accountable na parang, for example, oh my gosh, end of the month na, nasa 75% pa lang tayo ng goal natin. So we have to double up our sales strategies and marketing strategies. So, ayun, it's best you discuss that with your team or discuss it with yourself kung ikaw pa lang. Check your stats, check your data, check your sales. And if something dips, social media presence, marketing, promos, uh, talk to your friends or influencers para
Mhm.
if not consistent, at least medyo par man lang with at least to pay everything for the
Yeah,
entire
break
month.
even.
Oo. Ayun. Yun kami, ganun kami.
consistency and sales talaga. It's hard, especially when you're selling. But I also realized, I don't know, I guess I was self-limiting when I was beginning kasi nga it's a small business, I'm a solo entrepreneur. So I thought, Morena, for example, Morena was is a very small niche. That's what I thought, at least, since it's Morenas. Pero, na-realize ko na hindi ko pa siya na-maximize fully. And when I thought, okay, the sales weren't doing so well, but that's because no one really has seen it that well, that much. At that time, we had around 6,000 followers, and I thought that was it. Alam mo yun, parang that was the extent of how big Morena can get. But then, when I started doing better on social media, having consistent content calendars, and then ayun, discounts. We did a live stream. Sabi nga, oh my gosh, kay Riza ko din to nakuha because they did a live stream with Lana. Tapos I was like, okay, maybe I should do that too. Kasi iba rin yung meron kang extra presence na live.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
So I did a live stream over the weekend because I was like, okay, we need more sales, blah blah blah. So we did a live stream just to. I did a Morena makeup tutorial. It wasn't even related to what I did. It wasn't even on a big e-commerce platform. It was just on Instagram. And
Yep.
then I gave the audience a discount code. And then this weekend, it was just like our launch. So parang okay, it's doable. You really have to be creative. You can't expect people to just find you and then buy from you. It's not enough to do that. It's constantly having to find new customers. It's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Kasi nga, yun, again, you really have to be visible, especially kung matagal ka ng brand. Uh, ano bang perfect Elana Minerals is really, really good with this. If galing nila with marketing
Yes.
and Facebook lives and stuff.
Even with
So,
Frankie.
oo, galing, grabe. So, ayun.
Parang always getting the community involved, always
Exactly.
remembering, letting them remember that you exist. Because,
Right.
the market is oversaturated on social
Mhm.
media, and sometimes you have to remind them that, hi, I'm here.
Tsaka, you have to cherish your community kasi sila lang talaga yung, ano ba,
Totoo.
word of mouth. It's free marketing and you have to utilize that as well. You have to love your community, genuinely care about
Mm,
them.
totoo. And when you provide real value, the sales
Mm,
do follow. Kasi
exactly.
so I've been making infographics for Morena the label, and that's just what I do for. It's not even to sell anything, it's just for information so people are educated about colorism, ganyan ganyan. Weirdly enough, those educational posts are the most viral, and they do more selling than the actual product photos.
Exactly.
And yun, totoo talaga yun. Okay, our next question is from Chriselle MD. How do you overcome the fear of failure before you even start?
Yes, it's mindset, mindset, mindset. Failure is very, very important for success. Sobrang cliche na nito, pero sobrang naniniwala talaga ako sa kanya. Kasi you have to embrace and you have to know that it's really a part of it, especially in business. And yun nga, ako personally, I have a lot of failures business-wise. It's true na nakakatakot and nakakawala ng confidence minsan, but as a business owner, you really have to suck it up. I mean, hindi lang siya glamour and stuff. It's all about hard work. It's all about being able to stomach every single thing na nangyayari sa business mo. Kasi, especially when you are starting out and you're starting alone, ikaw talaga yung makakapag-save sa business mo eh. And yun nga, embrace that the fact that failure is part of the journey and you will learn so much from it. Ako, I've been doing business for more than almost a decade now, and I still have a lot of failures here and there, so it will never be perfect. I still have wrong decisions na parang, ay shucks, hindi pala dapat ginagawa yon. Next time, hindi ko na to
Mm-hmm.
gagawin. But that shouldn't stop you from moving forward in business and in life. You really have to be relentless. Kapag tinatanong ako kung ano yung ano ba, value dapat ng entrepreneur, I always say it's relentlessness. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
kahit anong ganap pa yan, kahit anong failure, kahit anong mangyari sa business mo, you have to be resilient and relentless with everything that you do. So, ayun. Failure is part of it.
Totoo.
Grabe.
Failure is inevitable. I think it's not is failure gonna happen, it's when. It's
Yeah.
almost constant and you need to embrace it.
Mhm.
But also one more thing that I think I asked a lot na helped me get over the fear of failure is what is the worst that can happen? As in what is the absolute worst? And I guess with this situation, like if you have a business, the worst that can happen is you lose your capital or you lose your investment and then you have to go back to nothing or go back to having a job. And when I think about okay, halimbawa, let's say knock on wood, is if something fails, I would have to go back and find a day job. That's not so bad for
Right.
me. It's
Mhm.
like okay, at least I'll allow myself this chance, this opportunity to pursue something that I'm really passionate about. So if it's a business that I really believe in, then I will do it because if not now, then I'll be stuck in that day job anyway. So I'll just go back to that day job after I've tried my very very best. Pero as long as I have the opportunity, the time, the energy, and the resources to pursue having my own business, then I'll keep doing that until it's not possible anymore. Pero the thing is, if you are relentless, it's gonna work out, or you're gonna find a way to make it happen. So the fear of ewan ko, parang failure is just it's a small chapter, and after a failure you learn so much, that you're so much more equipped the next time around. So I really don't believe in too much failure because anything that's bad can be, you can make it into something good. And a lot of the failures, I mean, we have so many success stories. We know of big entrepreneurs who failed so many times in their lives, and I think those are just testaments to what we can do if we are relentless. Nako, it's my new word of the day, relentless.
Yes. Yes. Tsaka I actually read somewhere na if you are failing, it's a good sign that you are doing
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, that's true. Kasi it's if you're just safe this whole time, syempre hindi ka mag-fail. Pero if you're
Totoo.
actually going after big things, then it's gonna be shaky, but it's gonna be worth it.
And it's a
Taran.
good story at the end
Mhm.
of the day.
It's a good story. Makikita niyo lang yung memoir namin sa
Totoo.
Manila International Book Fair.
Love it. Ayan. So for our next question from Kim Carell, what are the major things you should have in order to start your business?
Major things like major investments or hindi naman? Or maybe major skills.
Yes, I think skills.
Okay.
Or we can also maybe discuss
Both.
then. Yeah, both na lang.
Ako, number one major thing that really helped me with my business is my laptop.
Mhm.
I think it's so important to pero parang yun yung only major thing that I really needed because I started my business through as in online to. I had a supplier, ganyan, ganyan. All I needed really was my laptop, internet, and my marketing know-how. So before I started doing this, I was a marketing employee. I did copywriting for to live. I did freelance writing, and then on the side I would do graphic design for YouTube because I'm a YouTube creator. So a lot of the things that I know and use talaga for the business, what really got me off the ground were those things na very matututunan lahat sa YouTube Academy. So,
Correct.
yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I really needed. Ikaw, Riza.
Ako, a major thing is to have a great idea and a business model. How you can pitch this to people, to your friends, and to make sure na parang, magfa-fly ba tong idea na to.
Mhm.
That's number one. And then next is suppliers. If you are planning to to sell a physical product, or the skills if it's a service. And aside from that, patience.
That's a major
Patience
thing.
with yourself and with the process. Kasi minsan parang, oh my gosh, ang tagal ko nang ginagawa to, ang tagal ko nang pinaplano to, pero hindi pa rin nagmamaterialize. So, you have to be patient with the process. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with your business model. You have to be confident kung ano yung ibebenta mo talaga. And yun nga, DIY everything that you can kasi you have to be smart with the resources kung saan mo siya i-allocate since
Mhm.
nagsistart ka pa lang ganyan. And it's smart, I think, na ilagay mo muna siya sa inventory. So DIY everything that you can before your launch.
Sobrang important na even now, like, pagka nire-remind mo pa rin ako, you should learn it first before you get somebody to do it for you. So
Totoo.
important. Let's talk about the business model since you mentioned it. Because maybe some of our listeners might need a little enlightenment sa business model. But it's very basic, but at the same time, it's something that some people overlook or don't even think about. Business model is basically how you're gonna be making money.
Yes.
Like,
How will
anong
you be
proseso?
profitable?
Mhm. Kasi I just remember there was a time I had a friend who, she wanted to sell beauty products, and yeah, and she did all the work, all the finding the supplier, blah blah blah. And then when she talked to us, I realized she hadn't done her costing, and she was selling the products for much less than she is spending on,
Oh
packaging and
no.
manufacturing. So, ayun, dun mo makikita rin, like, how are you gonna be making money?
Right. Yun nga, we actually discussed this in detail yung sa previous episode natin kung how do we cost. Kasi very, very important yun na you have to take into account everything, your marketing, your utilities, your salaries and wages. Kasi it's very important as a business for you to be profitable then as well. You can't just peg your price like this because the market tells you so, or the competitors tell you so, kasi you also have to be responsible of your employees kung meron ka ng employees, or
Yeah.
you have to be able to pay your rent, utilities, etc., etc. And your ads, if you are doing Facebook ads, i-take into account nyo rin yun. Kasi I have a lot of friends na yun nga, nagpepeg lang ng price na ganito, tapos nag-Facebook ads sila bigla, tapos hindi nila na-take into account yung gastos nila for Facebook ads or for influencer marketing. And that cost them a lot of losses. So, ayun,
Oh
compute
my
nyo rin.
gosh. Yung sa Facebook ads, do you set a limit for it or no naman?
We have a running marketing budget a month. Ganon. So, ito
Okay.
yung allocated budget for this month. Depende na yun kung ano ba, are we making money? If we are, sige, dagdag natin ng konti. If we're not, sige, bawas tayo ng konti. Ganon. So,
Mm.
kaya, daily and monthly and weekly sales targets are important.
Who checks those?
Me.
The ikaw talaga
Ako
nagmo-monitor.
talaga. So, meron akong parang I get reports daily from my team, from my sales team, from the fulfillment team, kung um, ilan ba ang sales natin ngayon. Pero ilan ang na-ship natin ngayon? Kasi
Mhm.
not necessarily, kasi I use Shopify. So for everyone who's on e-commerce here, I use Shopify. So not all of the sales from my Shopify translates into shipments. Kasi meron doon na mga magka-cancel or mga hindi na sumasagot, ganyan. So,
Mhm.
kailangan kong malaman kung ano ba yung gross sales ko at ano ba yung totoong sales na pumapasok sa akin. Kasi, yun, you have to set your budget against doon sa totoong sales mo.
Mhm. Okay, our next question is from Anonymous. Kasi hindi ko makita yung name. How do you find a manufacturer for your product? So I guess this is yours since you have, a manufactured product talaga.
Hmm. Ako naman, yung dalawa kasi I have a different manufacturer for Mink. I have a different manufacturer for Lana. Referrals.
Mhm.
Referrals talaga siya. But you can also see manufacturers online. You can join Facebook groups or you can actually Google them. Meron akong nakikitang mga manufacturers dito sa Philippines na visible naman siya sa Google. And then tips for manufacturers is you have to check on their profile. Uh, yun nga.
Reviews.
Yes, reviews, exactly. And if you can, hindi ko alam kung ma-advise ko ba to sa panahon ngayon, but it's best if you can go to their factory and check if they're legit and how they do things. Kumbaga ako, medyo sinide interview ko, chinika-chika ko yung mga employees doon na, oh, kamusta naman yun? Yung kita nyo dito. Alam mo yung parang medyo medyo in-interview ko sila ng konti if they are fairly waged and kung maganda ba yung working environment nila. Tsaka it's also really
Mhm.
nice to see for yourself kung paano ginagawa yung products mo.
So yung sa'yo, you asked around with friends, ganyan.
Oo. Well, actually kasi yung manufacturer ko sa Lana was referred by a family friend and yung manufacturer ko naman sa Mink is a very good friend as well. So, yun.
Yeah, sometimes talaga you have to do the legwork to find
Mhm.
these. Kasi sometimes they're not even online.
Right.
And most of them are because this is very business to business, B2B siya. So, hindi mo sila basta-basta makikita as a
Totoo.
retailer.
Mm-mm.
So, you need to talk to your entrepreneur friends and
Right.
go ask for suggestions, ganyan. Yung suppliers ko naman for, ito yung current dilemma, I guess, is I've been looking for a local manufacturer of garments. Pero hindi ko makuha yung specific na gusto ko. As in like, there's one I want. Syempre, gusto ko yung locally sourced, gusto ko ethically made, gusto ko organic materials, gusto ko budget friendly pa din. But then almost everything that's out there is sourced from China. So I'm trying to ito yung I'm currently in the middle of it. I'm constantly scouting for suppliers, scouting for manufacturers. So yeah, it's really a long process. You just take the next best thing until you find what's best. And who knows, maybe you can even be the manufacturer. Kaya ako
Why
napabili
not?
ng printing equipment because
Mm-mm.
I didn't want to go to a printer all the
Right.
time and bulk order. I wanted to do print on demand. So I invested on equipment. So sometimes that's also an option. If you can't find the best option out there, maybe you are. So,
Totoo. Yan, can I just say na sobrang favorite ko yung part ng Ideology Studio na print on demand kasi it's very sustainable. You won't be,
mm,
walang sayang na mga inventory kasi, alam mo yun, hindi nabebenta or whatever. Ganun. So,
grabe ang mass
good job.
production ha. Ay, thanks madam. Gusto ko ang hirap no, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to make good decisions, but at the same time, it's very limited because ito yung meron tayo. So sometimes you gotta get creative so you can be happy with yourself at the end of the day.
Oo. On to our next question. Anonymous ulit. How do you manage the marketing before launch?
Hmm.
Ikaw, for Ideology, what did you do?
Nakakatawa because I didn't even think about marketing before the launch until you told me to do it. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess fine. Because I wanted to kind of slowly creep in and just show up. Oh, hi, this is the thing. But then, ayun, so it's important. Number one, set a launch date. I realize a lot of, especially me, ako naging problem ko din to. Like, I didn't really set a launch date. I kind of just
Mhm.
wanted to do it. Ngayon na, okay, go, whatever. Pero
Oo.
you need to know when it's coming out. And then leading up to that day, you have to build brand awareness,
Yep.
tell people what it's all about, and then rally your circle
Mhm.
to get them to promote you as well, to talk about you. Another thing we did is yung teasers, lots of teasers and mga discount codes, ganyan. So kami yung mga partner influencers, partner creators namin, they had their own discount code so they can promote on their end, ganyan. So get as many people as possible to hype you up because yeah, sometimes you really do need help and with launching a business even more so. So, yes.
Yes. One thing I can add to that as well is, yun nga, reach out to your friends and send them products kung kaya or discounts kasi
Mhm.
syempre business ka rin namang na nagsa-start out, but never forget to ask them to write reviews for you. So, syempre, Facebook page, given na yan business. So, ask them na parang, uy, I want to know what you think about it. Can you go ahead and write a review and recommendation before your launch? Kasi, kapag kunwari, launch date mo na, makikita ka na ng ibang strangers, alam mo yan, makikita na ng ibang strangers yung business mo. And then, when they stalk your Facebook, at least they can see reviews na
Alam nila
parang,
ng
oo, na parang, okay, credible to. Okay, I can trust this brand. Na, okay, people are saying good stuff about this. And make sure lang din talaga na have your friends write genuine comments. Yung parang,
mhm.
wag mo sabihin, yung mga okay lang yung sabihin mo. Ganun. So, ano, utilize your circle for reviews and
Mm.
recommendations.
Sometimes talaga you already have so much within your reach. You just don't use it as much. So launching, especially when you're new, is a really good time to do so.
Tsaka wag kang mahiya na manghingi ng mga comments and suggestions kasi dun ka
Mhm.
rin matututo in the long run. Yep.
From Neko Me, what accounting and management skills do we need to know about or execute, especially when you're relative new and doing business and you're a one woman team? And intimidating na to when you think about, oh no, all the accounting stuff that
Ah.
we need to do.
Ako, super duper basic lang ako before. Just make sure that you track all of your expenses, track your sales, and then check mo kung kumikita ka ba or hindi, then adjust accordingly. Again, gawa ka ng promos, marketing, or kung meron kang pwedeng makat off from your budget, ganyan, cut mo na. Yun nga, for me, I wanna make things simple as possible kasi di naman din ako accounting graduate, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. So, don't overwhelm yourself with so much stuff na hindi
Mm-hmm.
naman ganun kakailangan pa sa umpisa. So, yeah, yun yung akin for accounting. For the management side naman, just make sure na you track your inventory as well. Kasi if you just push and push and push online, tapos wala ka palang inventory, so yun, you have to be aware of your inventory. Kung ako, for example, for you, may shirts ka pa ba? May mga vinyls ka pa ba? Or ganyan. So,
It should be simple lang naman. Especially
mm,
if you're a one woman team, your operations should be just like for a one woman team. And I guess in my case, since I've been a one woman team for a year before uh, this recent launch, I guess number one thing is to document your expenses, track, just document everything, as in everything. And it's pretty easy as long as you're making profit. It's just that simple. As for management, talaga for me is knowing how to manage yourself. They say it's not time management, it's self management. So because I was a one woman team who had a day job and other stuff going on, kasi nga syempre the business could not sustain my life at the beginning. It was more about allotting time and carving out time for the business. Kasi ang tendency, especially before, is it's just my side hustle. I'll do it when I have free time. As opposed to, this is my job and I need to be as disciplined here as I am in my regular job. So, yun, parang I treat myself like an employee on the clock na I need to have tasks for myself. I need to have goals. I need to be able to set and achieve these goals. So, ayun, I guess. For me, if you're a one woman team, that's one of the pieces of advice I could give.
Ayan, for our next question is from Nekomi. Tips on scouting for a supplier. Is it more advisable to have just one supplier or have several ones for backup?
I have multiple suppliers, but I have one that's my main go-to. But then sometimes you can't, especially with mine, kasi medyo small scale din kami. So I can't really order a lot of inventory in bulk, as in sobrang parang corporation level. So from time to time, I'll have moments na, oh my gosh, I need to restock. And then pag nag-restock ako, hindi available sa supplier ko. So then I have backup suppliers just so I know that I can always deliver. Maganda rin kasi madami kang options. So you know the industry rates, alam mong hindi ka dinadaya sa presyo. Ayun. So I have one main just for consistency, pero multiple backups in case something happens. Because you never know.
Right, right. For us naman, for Lana and Mink, wala. Isang supplier lang talaga. Siyempre, it's
Mhm.
skincare. It has to be consistent and they know the formula. So, products-wise for Lana, one supplier lang talaga. But for the packaging, like the bottles, stickers, boxes, I have multiple. Pero although I also have main supplier. So, ito yung,
Mhm.
kumbaga, parang preferred supplier and then the backup. It's really best for you to still have a backup. Kasi kapag yun nga, lalo ngayon, oh my gosh, naalala ko nung ECQ, yung bottle supplier ko,
Yeah.
as in, ubusan talaga, the entire Philippines is, wala, almost zero bottles na. So we were forced to change a couple of bottles for Lana, especially. And for me, kasi wala talaga. As in, sobrang na-stress kami noon. Kasi, hindi kami
Nakakuha pa ako
makapag
nun,
hindi
limited
kami
edition.
yes. Hindi kami makapagbenta just because wala kaming bote. So, na-stress ako no'n. Hala, oh my gosh, I have to pay my suppliers, my utilities, my staff. Pero wala kaming mabenta just because wala kaming bottle supplier. So, ngayon, yun na, natuto na kami na dapat maraming bottle suppliers. Tapos, tips naman on how to scout is yun nga, again, stalk their profile. Kasi minsan makakakuha ka ng supplier sa mga Facebook groups, ganyan, but you wouldn't know if it's legit. Siyempre,
Mhm.
kailangan mo rin malaman kung ano ba, bogus ba to or not. So what we do is we ask them for their IDs,
Mhm.
number one, and then we also ask them for client references. Tapos tanungin mo lang na, hi, I just wanna ask, kasi sanay din sila dun eh, to ask for
Oo.
client references na, oh, sino pa bang ibang sinusuplayan mo ng ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Then you can also see if, yun nga, legit business ba to or hindi, ganyan. Katulad din ng sinabi ko kanina, if you can ask to visit their factory or their plant or their manufacturing headquarters, ganyan, to make sure that
Mhm.
everything is sanitary, yun nga, interview their
Important.
Tapos, ano pa ba? Ayun, ganun kami mag-scout. Tapos, ano pala, you can maybe, kunwari, usually kasi first transaction, cash yan eh. Then, kapag constant mo na siyang nakakausap, you can maybe ask for payment terms. Kasi
Mhm.
lagi yun, parang on our second or third purchase, tinatanong na namin yun. Kung, hi, can you also extend payment terms for me? Like, for example, for my box supplier, tinanong ko siya kung, hi, okay lang, ano, may payment terms ba kayo? na kunwari, de-deliver mo ngayon, I'll pay after 30 days. Kasi as a
Mhm.
business owner, yung liquidity mo, meaning yung rumorol yung capital na money sa within your business is really important kasi pwede mo pa siyang magamit for marketing or for additional inventory, ganyan.
Yeah.
Tsaka makakatulong din talaga yun sa'yo. So, it's, normal din yun to ask for payment terms. Sanay din sila doon.
Lalo na kung ano, malaki talaga yung quantities ng
Yes,
orders mo.
correct.
It's kind of insane to be spending so much ng isang bagsakan. So,
Totoo.
payment, I need to, I need to start asking for payment terms.
Mm. Kasi baka lang naman, edi kung hindi, edi okay lang.
Yeah,
Paano? Pero
keep
what if
asking.
pumayag?
Okay, our next question is from Alj Pasqua. What are the advantages and disadvantages of having your own website of your online shop? Love this question bilang isang advocate ng Shopify.
Totoo. Shopify, hashtag not sponsored, but please do.
You
Ah,
should. You should sponsor
you
us.
should Shopify. Ayan. Ako, ano ba, pros. Number one is it's highly customizable. You can choose your fonts, you can choose a theme, ganyan. Then, number two naman is you can see extensive analytics if you have your
Love.
own website. I am such a data nerd, so I love seeing this. Gusto ko yung mga reports, yung mga lifetime value of customers. Yan, makikita mo yan lahat sa Shopify, sa website. Yun nga, you can extract reports. So, just so you can strategize for the next month or for the next quarter. Ano ba? Magpapapromo ka ba? Mali ba yung pricing mo? Para sa ang age ba? Ano ba talaga yung target market mo? Kasi minsan, when you plan your business, you have a target market in mind, pero hindi yun yung nagtatranslate. So, what you'll do is you adjust kung saan talaga nag-hit yung market mo. So, ano ba? Anong gender ba to? Kasi you can also see the data and analytics from the website. Tapos, ayun nga, you also, if you have a website, you also, ano ba, have the information or the database. Kasi if you're only on Facebook or Instagram or Shopee or Lazada, wag naman sana, but what if they close? Paano na yung customer database mo? So, yun yung okay kapag may website ka. Plus, yun nga, if you have a website, you look professional and legit. Alam mo yun, sobrang makakontrol mo pa yung aesthetic ng website mo. Which is also very important for me, by the way. So, ayun, pros. Cons naman. Sa cons naman, some Pinoys trust Shopee and Lazada more compared to when you have your own website. So make sure you are there too. Kasi
Working
minsan,
on
di
it.
ba? Kasi minsan, kapag kunwari, yes, may website ka, pero parang mas gusto ko, check ko nga sa Lazada, baka naman, ano to, scammer tong website na to.
Mm-mm.
So, nakikita nga nila yung website mo, pero pag yun nga, on the fence pa sila, they will still search for you on Lazada and Shop. Yun, tsaka I super love Shopify because it's so easy. You don't need to have coding skills. It's super duper simple. Na drag and drop lang, ganyan, e-commerce website na. Tsaka yun nga, and sa umpisa, ako kasi, nag-umpisa ako nang wala akong pambayad ng web developer. So, ako na lang and YouTube and kaya yon. So, you can do it too.
Totoo. Like Shopify, I think, is such an easy platform to use. Now, if you're a beginner, it's the best thing you can have, especially if you want to have your own website. On top of what you said, I think it's also important because of brand recall. Sobrang important now when they look at your website, they know, okay, this is the brand that, especially if you want it to be a brand. If you're just selling a product, you're moving inventory, that's okay for Lazada or Shopify. But if it's a brand that you want to really promote, having your own space, your own store online is a really good investment. Plus, it's not really that much of an investment. It's one of the cheaper things you can pay for to
True.
make your business look professional. I really love Shopify talaga kasi ang daming resources, ang daming ka natututunan.
Yeah, I saw
because of
on your
it.
stories ba na you were doing Shopify Academy. It's really, really
Yes.
helpful.
Mhm. It's an actual thing, by the way, hindi katulad ng YouTube Academy na sinasabi na,
Ay, oo, oo.
"Oh, I went to YouTube Academy." Pero Shopify Academy is an actual roster
Sorry.
of
Yes.
courses. So
Mhm.
right now I'm doing e-commerce through Instagram. So it's Instagram marketing. That's why, yun nga, nakakatuwa pa. So whatever I learned din sa mga free courses, tinetest out ko siya sa product ko
Right.
sa Morena, for example, Morena the label or ideology, whatever I learn. So, magte-take akong course, tapos gagawin kong project yung sarili kong brand.
'Di ba?
And then
Saya.
it works. So, it really helps na makikita mo rin agad-agad yung progress because of those things.
Yeah, tsaka keep on testing and oo, test lang ng test.
Ooh, one more thing that is really nice about having your own website. It's like email marketing, customer acquisition is so much easier because you have access, you have direct control over the platform that you're selling on. Hindi katulad ng Shopee, Lazada, which is great also. Meron din namang mga pros yun kasi syempre nakikiride ka din dun sa market nila, sa audience nila. Pero having your own thing is you're more in control. Halimbawa, may sale ka today. You can make your own discount codes. You can make discount codes for influencers. Wala lang. It's such an empowering feeling to be that in control of your marketing, which
Right.
I think is not something that you could do like Instagram, Facebook, and just Lazada, Shopee selling because iba yung control mo eh. Control mo yung market, control mo yung analytics, control mo lahat. So I think you should definitely look into that, especially since mura lang naman ang monthly fees na Shopify. It's around, how much is it? Less than 1,000 pesos.
Yeah.
As in less than 1,000. Imagine if you're running a full business on Shopify, tapos less than 1,000 lang yung rent mo, or rent. My
Totoo.
gosh. Sobrang worth it.
Totoo. Now, on to the next question. It's from Joanna Season. How do you take pictures of your products? Is it possible to use phones lang? And what photo editing app do you suggest?
I think it's possible. It's definitely doable. We make do with what we have. I use my phone as a Note 5, that a 5-year-old Samsung Galaxy Note 5. Tapos I use Visco to edit. But then also this is one of my earlier investments. I really invested in photo shoots because that's how I started marketing my products. Actually, yun yung pinaka main investment ko when I started out. Kasi nung nag-start ako, wala naman akong inventory because I worked with Shirtly. So, kung wala akong inventory, wala akong ibang ginagastos, wala akong staff, what I really spent on was the product photos. Kasi yung products ko naman, matagal siya. Parang, it's this one product. Hindi ako laging nagbabago. Because there are some stores, for example, jewelry stores, sa Instagram, ganyan. Every week, they have new products. So, medyo expensive yun if professionally done yung photo shoots mo. Pero yung sa akin kasi, since it's merch, t-shirts, I want them to be seen on people, on actual models. I had to invest on a photo shoot. Pero kung let's say ang product ko, um, notebooks, stickers, and then laging nagbabago yung designs, I would suggest Kebs lang naman yung phone. Kayang-kaya ang phone. Mm.
Totoo. Tsaka phones nowadays have great cameras.
Yes.
Minsan parang SLR mirrorless na. But yeah, so yes, go ahead, use your phone. Ako no, nung nag-product photography ako for Lana, kasi again, wala pa akong pera pambayad ng photographer. Ano,
Mm-hmm.
yun, I just use my, ano bang camera ko nun before? Fujifilm X-A2 ata.
Meron din ako
Parang,
noon.
parang gano'n, nung araw. Tapos ano, I just used an illustration board. Yung white part
Nice.
ng
Yeah.
illustration board, and then I used the natural light. As in, naalala ko pa talagang init na init, pawis na pawis ako noon, nasa ilalim ako ng initan, at nagfa-flat lay ako. And take note, wala rin ako masyadong alam sa photography. If I can clearly remember, naka-auto lang ako noon. So, photography. Photography peeps na nanonood at nakikinig ngayon, please don't judge me, but it worked. I mean,
Yeah, it gets the
nakabenta naman
job
yung brand.
done.
Gets the job done, exactly. It's all about, ano bang tawag dito? Execution.
Totoo.
Tsaka ako naman, I edit my photos on Lightroom Mobile, tsaka ViscoCam din ako. Pero
Mhm.
ngayon, nung medyo may budget na, parang yun nga, I invested on the studio na sa office, para doon na yung mga shoots and yung mga medyo upgrade na tayo ng camera. Pero it's not advisable again kung nagsa-start ka pa lang.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily have to have these expensive equipments kasi again, it's wiser to put your money on your inventory.
Amen. Lalo na if you're gonna be making money off of that. So,
Oo, totoo.
yung dun tayo sa minimum viable product.
Totoo.
What's the most you could do with less, with the least amount of money?
True.
Okay, our final question is from Get Going Jen. Please discuss what are your product launch strategy tips? Product launch strategies.
Ako, ano ba? Yun pa rin ako eh. Favorite ko yung always ask for reviews and recommendations before your launch. Kasi
Mhm.
social proofing nowadays is really gold. I mean, if someone stalks your Facebook or Instagram profile, they have to see that people believe in you, that your product is really good, or
Mhm.
alam mo yun, parang may storya. It's also very important that you put your story out there. How did you conceptualize this? Kasi I personally find myself supporting brands that has a backstory. Yung kapag alam ko yung story nung owner
Mhm.
or ng product itself, kung paano siya ginawa, parang mas drawn ako to support that. Ewan ko, I'm not sure if that's the case for you too.
It's exactly the same for me. It's so important because when you're starting out, especially wala ka namang, una, yung product mo, hindi pa naman kilala ng mga tao. Pangalawa, nagsisimula ka as a business owner, so wala ka masyadong marketing budget. To me, the story sells itself. The story sells the product because people wanna connect with you, and I think yun na talaga eh, like putting yourself out there, telling your story, why this is important and why you think people should support. That's the best product launch strategy if you're just starting out, because that's the kind of stuff that goes viral, that's the kind of stuff that people want to share with their friends. And if wala ka naman talagang budget to pay people to sell this for you, all you have to do is tell that story really well. So, in my situation, it was Morena. So mostly I just told my own story and why I wanted other girls to have these shirts. Tapos, ayun, it kind of evolved from there. But if I were to launch all over again, I'd begin from the story. Tell it in ways na madaling ma-share. For example, video, I'll make a 3-minute video telling the story of how it started. I'll make an infographic. I'll make a post on Instagram that's relatable for other people.
Right.
So it's definitely getting creative about how you present that vital information.
Mhm. Yeah, I have to agree with that because when I launched Mink, I created this short video of how I made Mink.
I
Alam mo yun?
saw that. I saw
Parang
that.
it's a quick YouTube video na parang it also boosts your SEO. So when people
Mm-hmm.
type mink.ph, parang makikita nila yung launch video, and then I parang sinabi ko yung story, yung struggles, yung mga oh my god, nagpapanik na ako, malapit na yung launch pero hindi pa kompleto, ganyan. So it's very relatable and authentic, and
Mm-hmm.
I personally love to see stories like that from other business friends, business owners. Kasi parang, oo nga. So ako, parang mas makakasupport ako. Parang, I can relate to this. Ganon.
All right. So moving on to our final part of the podcast, we have our gems of the week. So these are any readings, videos, podcasts, or films that we want to recommend to our listeners. So anything that we enjoyed or learned in the past week. So, do you have anything you want to share?
Ako, Shopify. Yeah, Shopify is a really, really easy tool for everyone who wants to have their own website kasi it's an e-commerce platform na madali na lang talaga, as in drag and drop,
Mhm.
launch your website, and alam mo yun, parang have your own email list, ganyan. It's very, very easy to learn as well kasi yun nga, again, kanina na mention na ni Ayin yung Shopify Academy. There are a lot of resources online, and please, 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 if you launch, please link it up to us. We would
Mhm.
love to
Share it
support.
on the Facebook group.
Yes, oo nga. Ang saya-saya ng Facebook group natin kasi
Mhm.
everyone's very, very warm and welcoming. Masaya.
Supportive. Mhm. Ako, my gem for the week. My gem for the week is, so it's not exactly new, but, and I've been watching this for a while, pero na-realize ko lang I wanted to share kasi Shark Tank. I love
Ah,
Shark Tank. Do you watch Shark Tank?
I'm so addicted to Shark Tank. Grabe,
Yes.
ang galing.
So it's on Netflix, by the way, if you guys are wondering. It's a TV show where real entrepreneurs get to pitch their big ideas to real investors. So these investors are multimillionaires, 1 billionaire, and they use their own money talaga. They invest on these businesses. So, wala lang. To me, it's entertaining, but at the same time, it's a learning platform for me
Yes.
because nakikita ko kung ano yung mistakes na ginagawa ng business owners, kung ano yung advice ng investors, ano yung hinahanap nila. Oh my gosh, my dream is to go on Shark Tank. Pero Pinoy ako, hindi ako American, so I don't know.
My dream is to be the shark.
One day, one
One day,
day.
one day, one day. So
Oh,
ano, 'di ba parang kapag if they ask questions sa business owner, parang you will also ask it. Parang tatanungin mo rin yung sarili mo na, oo nga,
oo
no?
nga
Ano nga
'no.
bang sagot ko dun? Ganon.
Totoo. Ay, I love Shark Tank so much.
Yeah.
Nagpa-practice nga ako. Hello, Sharks. My name is Ayin Bernos from Manila, Philippines, and I'm the founder and Wow! Thank you so much for joining us here today on Camp Confidence Radio. Please don't forget to share and tag us on Instagram at Camp Confidence Radio if you're tuned in.
And if you want to be part of our future episodes, you can join us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/groups/Camp Confidence to join discussions and to submit community questions.
You can also follow me, Ayin, at Ayin Bernos and at Morena the Label on Instagram.
And at Ideology
And
Studio.
at Ideology Studio.
And me, Riza. You can see me on at Riza Lana, at lana.ph, at mink.ph on Instagram. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yay.
Love it.